there, welcome to 20 for 20. My name is Kathleen Draper and I'm with the Elks National Foundation. Today, I'm joined by Kadija Ismail, a 2021 Top 20 MVS Scholar sponsored by Alexandria, Virginia, Lodge number 758. Thanks so much for joining me today, Kadija.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. And first, I'll just have you kind of introduce yourself and tell us more about where you're from.
So pretty much my name is Kadija Ismail and I'm from Springfield, Virginia. Woo, DMV. And I currently go to Stanford University.
Awesome. How is your first year going so far? Tell us all about it.
Honestly, I'm gonna be just completely honest. It's been a ride. When I say that I've gone from having classes completely virtually to being on campus, live in action, it's been a lot. And, between juggling like social life, meeting completely new people that I've never met before, and juggling those classes and bike riding around campus, like it's fun, but it can be a lot at times. And so it's always nice to pace myself. But all in all, it's been pretty fun.
Good. It is a huge transition, and especially transitioning from the last year where you've pretty much been virtual with your classes to being across the country, literally, and then also being in person is a big one. But there are a lot of Elk scholars at Stanford. So have you had the chance to connect with anybody on campus yet, including some of your fellow top 20?
I've met with a couple of them very briefly. I met Caleb once in his dorm room. Not his room, but I met him in his dorm, I believe. And then I met Tanner, I think, in passing. And so it hasn't been a prolonged conversation, but we've been meeting to get lunch, me and Caleb. So that's how that is.
Good. I'm so glad. Yeah, I have interviewed both Caleb and Tanner. I guess, Stanford scholars are kind of my niche. So yeah, that's great to hear that you've been able to connect with them and see them. And there's just a big community out there. So that's awesome. And what are you studying? And, if you kind of have an idea already, what do you think you'd like to do with your degree?
So currently, I've been looking at majoring in computer science with a minor in African and African American studies. With that, I hope to be able to increase tech literacy, especially in communities like where I come from, and predominantly Black and Hispanic areas, Black and Brown areas where tech literacy isn't necessarily like the go-to, especially as we become more digitized and with the increased need for stuff like that in like virtual learning environments and such. There is a increased necessity for tech literacy and involvement in tech in areas where they might not have the means to do so. And so I've been looking into that and seeing what I can do with it.
That sounds incredible. And yeah, especially with the transition to so much virtual learning and even hybrid
Yeah.
learning, there's been that really big gap in a lot of different places. So that's really cool that that's what you hope to do with it. And it's obviously very relevant for the time that we're living in too. So that's really exciting. Um, and something that ties all of our Elk scholars together, besides a love for school and learning and big hopes for the future, is service. So can you tell us what service means to you?
Service, I feel, is a big part of my moral compass, just giving back to the roots from which I came from. I grew up in a predominantly low income area, and I can say for one that my first goal is not to leave the area or join this big ploy of capitalism. I hope to at least, be able to give back and serve the community from which I came from, hopefully through like volunteering in like schools, volunteering around, like seeing where there's help needed, donating to mutual aid funds, even participating in those like food drives and food services like I have in the past. I might do some of that over winter break. So that that sounds like about what I'm doing. And I hope to also get involved with a lot of the service organizations within campus at Stanford, because I know there's a huge need with like gentrification that's going on around the Bay Area with like the Silicon Valley companies. And so I hope to get involved with that as well.
Yeah, and especially in the wintertime, that's a huge time. Obviously, there's a lot of giving during the winter, but that's something we also talk about a lot at the foundation is kind of fulfilling those needs outside of just the holiday and being there throughout the winter season when there is a lot going on and when people have other needs besides just you know, food and things like that, but also shelter and everything along those lines. So that's really cool that you hope to go back to the community that you came from. And it sounds like you have some incredible ideas for how to give back and be there for everybody that you love and care about in your
Yeah.
community. And what is being an Elk Scholar going to help you achieve?
I hope that through being an Elks Scholar, I'm able to learn about like how other people have given back within the Elks community and hopefully emulate some of that same behavior in areas like the one where I came from and like at Stanford and all of that. And so hopefully by participating in the trips and just getting to see what everyone else is doing and getting to meet new people through Elks, I can hopefully also do the same. So
Do you plan to attend an Elk Scholar service trip?
I hope to, yeah.
Yeah, they're a really, really great experience. That's something that when I first started, I was really um, just intrigued to learn more about. And I thought it was really awesome that a group of scholars and then a former scholar who's our fellow go to a community and really immerse themselves in it. And I thought that was awesome. So that's exciting. They're back in full swing. So you'll have plenty of
Yeah,
opportunities
I'm
for
really
sure.
excited.
Yeah, yeah, some great locations always. And what makes you an Elk Scholar?
I think a big part of that is the service. I also think the drive and ambition that goes along with said service. Um, I feel like through my being an Elks Scholar, I haven't been able to experience much just yet, but hopefully through those service trips and through learning from other people, I too can also become better in my community service and my organizing and all of that. And I hope to be able to learn from those that I'm also with my other scholars and such. And so I feel like being an Elk Scholar is also resilience and learning and just being able to be reflective upon what you're doing that service for. So
Yeah, you are at the very beginning of your journey within the Elks family, which is a very exciting place to be. But ambition and kind of resilience are definitely two words that I would use to describe a lot of our Elk scholars. And those two qualities really tie everyone in the family together. So that's really great that you kind of that resonated with you as well. Um, and obviously, you're really passionate about learning and super passionate about service. But what's something you're passionate about outside of those two things?
I personally am also very passionate about music. I was in the high school band throughout all of high school, throughout all of grade school, honestly. I haven't quite had the time to join my college band, but I have pursued music outside of band. Like I play the guitar in my free time and such. And so just being able to explore that, explore things like garage band and just messing around with beats and just like sitting down and like listening to music, just all types of music I like to immerse myself in. And I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of joy, a lot of peace that comes with music. So
Yeah, definitely. And is guitar the main instrument you play, or do you play anything else?
no, I would say that my main instrument is the clarinet in the band, but I don't personally have one. So
Gotcha.
I have just been playing the guitar.
Yeah, that's awesome, though. I love that. And if you could say anything to the Elks, what would you say?
Let's say, I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll catch you guys at some point.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Kadija, and thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. If you like the show, hit the like button below and be sure to subscribe to the ENF's YouTube channel. Thank you so much for connecting with the Elks family. We'll see you next time. Bye.